my name is Julie Skolnick, and I'm the founder of WithUnderstandingComesCalm.com, a service through which I guide parents of gifted and distractible children, and I mentor 2E adults, and I collaborate and train educators and clinicians on how to best reach and teach the twice exceptional profile. So I have many clients lately who are asking me to join them at an IEP meeting or to give them some talking points about an IEP meeting. And after thinking about this, I've really distilled it down to 3 talking points that are very important before getting into, of course, the supports and ways of bringing out the best in raising self-esteem of our twice exceptional children. So those 3 talking points are really making a personal connection, teaching to the gift, and changing the environment. So what do I mean by these 3 talking points that we want to bring up with our IEP team? So personal connection. Ask the educators to please pick a time. It's so important to 2E kids to have a meaningful relationship. We know that success or challenge occurs in a teacher-by-teacher situation. And so if we can encourage educators and administrators to make a personal connection with our kids, that's going to be really helpful in our kids feeling responsible, feeling important, feeling a connection with their teacher. So asking teachers to pick a time. Pick an otherwise challenging moment in the day. Unstructured time, maybe lunchtime in the cafeteria is really hard. It's an onslaught of lots of sensory stimulation in that cafeteria. Maybe they can sit down and have a 5-10 minute conversation. Or when the student first arrives to help them transition during recess or other unstructured time. Find out what makes this kid tick and what ticks this kid off. What do they love and not love about school? What do they love and not love to do at home? What do they love and not love to do outside of the home? If they had unlimited amount of time to do something other than screens, what would they love to spend their time doing? Having these conversations, encouraging these conversations for educators will help them make their classrooms more relatable for the child by bringing up some interest of theirs. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is teach to the gift. Best practices and research show in the gifted and twice exceptional literature that addressing high interest and using a talent to get at a challenging skill helps to, first of all, have behavior dissipate. And secondly, it helps for the child to succeed in an area of otherwise challenge. So what do I mean by this? Let's say you have a hard time writing and you're an artist. So instead of having to write your essays or write your answers, you're able to draw them. Now, the teacher's response might be, but we really need them to learn the skills of writing. Well, I promise you, once they start communicating through this means of talent and high interest, those other things, executive functioning, prioritizing, organizing their essays, being able to write, they will come because the pump will be primed to support those executive functioning skills by doing this through something of high interest. If a child is challenged with reading, but is a gifted child, don't give them simple texts. Give them things in their area of interest to read. Change the environment. That's our third talking point. So we had personal connection, teach to the gift, and now changing the environment. So often we hear that we can't challenge the child, accelerate the child, enrich the child until we get the behavior under control. Well, the truth is that behavior will get under control if the child is engaged and interested and has a personal connection. So tweak the environment. What's going on? Is the kid having sensory overexcitabilities or intensities? Can we help them by letting them eat somewhere else in the cafeteria, by not having them on the school bus, by helping them knowing ahead of time that coming in from recess is really hard to transition and then sit down in the classroom. So what can we do? There's so many strategies that we can do, and that's for another talk. But the first thing for us to know is that we need a personal connection, we need to teach to the gift, and we need to tweak the environment rather than trying to change the child to fit into the environment. If you're in art class and there's a sensory issue, put gloves on that child so that they can play along in the shaving cream or do whatever messy thing that you're doing that's hard for them. Do they need movement? A standing desk. Preferential seating can be the back of the room so they can stand up and pace without affecting anybody else negatively. Give them a special pass to go to the office and take a little walk. There are so many ways to address these things, but if we can think about having this personal connection, teaching to the gift, bringing in some area of interest. Now that we have a personal connection, we know what those areas of interest are. And then changing the environment to suit the child, you're going to see a whole lot of behavior go away.